Well, we're coming to some numbers here. So we've shown a minimum natural annual benefit of just not busting prostitutes. Just not busting them. Not the whole incarceration of the tricks, the STDs, yada, yada, yada. At 59 plus billion. According to various government numbers, we're spending about 4.5 billion towards that. Or 100% of 59, if 59 billion is 100%, which we know it's not, it's way lowballed, then we're spending about 7.5% with about 92, well, 7 1/3, 2/3 percent, with 92 1/3, a total shortfall that we're making up right here on the spot just by regulating. This 44.5 billion can stay where it's at. It needs to stay where it's at because we're going to still be busting the juvenile prostitutes and all the people that don't want to play within the parameters that we set before them. But look at that savings. 92.33% of 59 billion annually as a major sandbag. Once again, I'm sandbagging. Okay, continuing to sandbag. 1.25 million estimated prostitutes was the average we came out with. We're going to reduce that clear down to 1 million and say some of those were kids we shouldn't count in that estimation or for whatever reason. Then we're going to bring it down clear to 500,000. Reduce it again. So now this is an effective rate of 37.5% of that. That's very important later on. So later on when you see numbers, you put that number in there if you're curious about it, and then divide it by 0.375 and see what you get. That would be a more realistic number when we get going. But right now, just for the sake of numbers and selling this to society in general, something that they can really get a bite out of, we're going to go with 500,000 mere prostitutes. Now we're going to really do something here. 1 to 4 have herpes. So 25% of the rips of this 500,000 are being divided into the D classes. Now just subjectively, we're going to say 50% are at or below the poverty line. 50% of all rips and tricks are actually broke off their butts. Okay? So 50% of that 500,000 would be 250,000. 40% middle class, 200,000, and only the elite 10% up there at the top, so the conspiracy theorists say. So 50,000 there and 100,000, 250,000, 200,000, 50,000. Remembering 25% of each of these is a class D. This, my friends, is actually TAP. It's actually written. And that's actually not fair either because half of this was an original run that got rewritten. The other half is a partial run, but it's all one-sided. Print, back page is blank. Print, back page is blank. So about a third to half of this would be TAP. And there are mistakes in it. I rushed it out to President Bush, so there were some mathematical mistakes. With that said, I had to recrunch these tables a little bit. That's what my point was. I've been sitting around trying to figure out what in the world I wrote. Okay. Amount of ripped and rips per class per table. So we broke it down earlier, 250,000, 200,000, 50,000. Amount per class, ripped A, if that's 50% thereof. And then once again, 25% of that 50%, we got 37,500. Class B, 150,000. Class C, 187,500. These are anticipating people without diseases. If our disease ratio is higher, naturally the numbers over here will be higher. Yearly hours allowed to work. This is basically the weekly hours allowed to work times 12, which comes to 520, 1040, 2600. So once again, the most Class A is allowed to work, regardless if it's A, regular or ripped A. It's 520, 10 hours a week. You know, and this one's 20 hours a week, and this one's 50 hours a week. Real basic numbers. This is for people starting out. They really want to hustle. They're trying to make some big money up. These are for people who, can kick back and take their time. Anyway, so amount per class, so we have to identify this number here. Ripped A is 12,500. Ripped B, 50,000. And ripped C, $6,200 or $62,500 based on the 500,000 figure, that very low ball figure of prostitutes that we're using. These are actual numbers of prostitutes that will be involved. 500,000 is what it comes out to. Go ahead and add it up. Hit pause, add it up. Hey, I went through hell for this. Anyway, so we got class of RIPs. Class A RIP, Class B RIP, Class C RIP. Are you paying attention, RIPs? You potential prostitutes out there that you think you're all that and then some on the streets? Check out some money. Check out some money. RIP A, 520 hours a year at $1,000 per hour. Regulated. Regulated. You're making $520,000 a year. Now that's gross. That's gross. You're going to be mad when you see what we do to it. But you're still going to get more than your pimp would ever give you. We're going to give you protection all the way down, health care, even take care of your kids for you. So you just pay attention to this. RIP B, 1,040 hours maximum at $250 a pop. $260,000 a year is your gross annual income potential. Gross, once again. And regulated. Class C, $2,600, $100 an hour is $260,000 a year. RIP A. It's basically, well, let's just do it. RIP A, 520 hours max per year, $1,500 per hour. We're getting that extra $500 an hour because this is a D class. $780,000 a year. You disease hose, you. $780,000 a year. Can you put some of that away to do some good? Once again, no, I can't say it enough. That is gross. That is not your net. That is not even close to your net. Well, at any rate, Class B, 1,040 a year, $500 an hour is $520,000 a year. Class C, 2,600. Your maximum hours you're allowed to work at $150 per hour brings you in at $390,000 per year. Can you make that kind of money? Would you like to make that kind of money? All you people out there working the streets, working the escort services, now you get to do it the legal way. Like Ace Rothstein coming from back east and being plopped in Las Vegas. All of a sudden he was being made a saint for something that was considered illegal back east. You know, this is your chance. It's like a giant holy cleansing for you. And you can bet for this kind of money trickling into our economy, you are protected. The government, ladies and gentlemen, is going to protect you. I don't care if you're a RIP, or a trick. We're going to protect you. We want those tricks coming in. We don't want them to happen to them tricks. You know? So we're going to be protecting them too.